Hey everyone, and welcome back to the VHS Tapes podcast. Once again, it's just me and Six. Venom should be returning next week. If,
Hooray!
if not, we'll just kill him again. So,
Again.
yeah, yeah, we killed him in the Halloween special. Well, the
Uh,
the,
so,
fina- the finale rather.
okay, so I guess he's a zombie now?
Well,
Or did
yeah,
he?
but actually no. Anyway, you may hear us both coughing. I'm just getting over bronchitis, and Six has something.
I have a, yeah, I can't even speak. I all of a sudden got a cold, so yeah, same thing. If you hear me coughing or sniffling, uh, sorry about that, I guess.
Yeah. So the theme, this is kind of a pseudo sequel to Work Horror Stories. This is Dumb Customer Stories specifically. So, did you want to go first?
Um, yeah, you can go first.
All right. So I wrote a couple down.
Yeah, I didn't write anything down, so I'll just think of stuff as as we go along.
So I'm gonna start with my experiences from the movie theater. Um, so there was always um people trying to sneak food into the theater. Now there's a thing where it's like I don't care if you're sneaking like a candy bar or like literally any candy. I really could care less because while movie theaters do need people to buy concessions to really stay in business, they don't make shit from like the first 2 weeks out of ticket sales. That pretty much goes all to the people who made whatever film it is. So I do recommend, and I personally, when I go to a movie theater, I'll get a soda and a popcorn at the least, um, just to support them. But I'm not buying candy because, like, I'm not spending fucking $4 on a fucking candy bar. That's ridiculous.
Can I just ask something real quick?
Yeah.
How much does popcorn cost you at wherever it is you go?
Um. Well, I haven't gone in a while, but usually, um, like the movie ticket will it could be like $6 if it's like a matinee, which I try to go on those days. But if it's like opening day, it's like maybe $10, which isn't bad. The popcorn and drink, depending on the size, like if I get large for both, it'll end up being $10 total. But if
Hmm.
I get like a medium popcorn and a large soda or whatever, it might just be like $6. So like it could be anywhere from $12 to $20 total for seeing it and the food.
Hmm. Yeah, because like
I'm,
the theater I like to go to, it's like, I mean, I'm sure COVID's been hitting them kind of hard, but it's like, tickets have always been like 11 or $13. If it's like a normal showing, if it's matinee, it's probably like 10. I don't know. Popcorn, last I checked, it was like anywhere from like $6 to $10 for,
Hmm.
I don't know, it's like small, medium, large, and I'm thinking like, fuck no, I'm not spending that much for popcorn.
Wait, $10 for just the popcorn?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's overpriced. It doesn't need like seriously like movie theaters will get 50-pound bags of popcorn. Like maybe not every theater, but usually they get everything in bulk.
Hmm.
I it doesn't cost them very much to make one batch of popcorn, and like they make many throughout the day, and it literally costs them like pennies, I guarantee you, for like that one cup of popcorn that they make.
right.
Well, I say cup, but it's almost like a they'll get like a scoop that's like the theater I worked at, we pretty much would get like the equivalent of like a large cup like you would get at McDonald's and just fill that with seeds. That was one batch.
Hmm.
Um and it wouldn't really make that much in the long run. Like you'd have to constantly make it so like the machine looks full, all of the displays look full and whatever. and
Right.
just to keep up with everybody. Especially if like if we're getting slammed, yeah, we have to. That thing has to constantly be run. There has to be someone basically just manning the popcorn machine, because they have to constantly just do it. You know, that sometimes it has to be put in the bags and held in the back, you know, as backup. Um, but yeah. Anyways, back on what I was saying. Like, I don't care if you sneak candy in, but like when you're sneaking in like an entire Chinese dinner, that's a bit much. Eat your food before you go to the movie.
Right.
Uh but yeah, like we would always have people try to sneak shit in, like you know, people sometimes I had to like check people's bags. I would only check it if it looked suspicious. Like if somebody comes in with like this massive backpack, I'd be like, I'm sorry, due to policy, like I have to ask you to open your bag. Like we wouldn't like reach in or anything. We would just look.
Right.
And like
You're not the TSA.
yeah, and like people would open it and like there'd be like fucking 30 candy bars in there and I'd be like, "Yeah, you can't bring that in, sorry." It's like that's too much. It's like I don't think you're like, you know, if there was like 30 people with them, then I might be just like I saw nothing and let them go. But if this would be like one person, I'm like, there's no fucking way. You're not even. There's no way you eat 10 of those over the course of this movie without fucking throwing up. So yeah.
Right.
Um.
This reminds me of I mean, technically this isn't customers. I'll explain why. But well, dumb customers, just not our customers. So where I work now, it's in the same shopping center as if y'all are familiar with was it Cold Stone Creamery? Yeah. If you don't know what it is, it's an ice cream place. And basically our patio, what people think it is, they think it's like a patio for, you know, essentially the whole I guess shopping center, I guess. But really it's just for our restaurant. So we get people like families, whatever, whether it's from like the coffee place or Cold Stone, and they just sit on our fucking patio, even when we have other customers eating outside. And it's like, I just want so badly to just go out there, like, sorry, this is for, customers here only, you fucking dumbasses. And it's like, it's the worst when it's either like two things. One, when they just stay there even after closing, or two, before opening. And it's also
Yeah.
really bad when they don't even bother to fucking clean up their mess. Like, if I have to go out there and wipe the table and it's like, or like if they had been eating there the night before and I have to come in the next morning and like wipe the tables and it's like dried ice cream all over the fucking, it's like, go to hell, you fuckers.
Yeah.
So, long story short, Cold Stone customers are probably, well, they're not a very high class of people, I guess.
Hang on. Just adjust that. There we go. All right, my mic was being stupid. Uh, Again at the theater, we would also have whenever there was an R-rated film, there's always gonna be underage kids that are gonna be like trying to sneak into it. And they think they're like James Bond or something with how stealthy they are, and they're really not. Uh, so typically what they do, so there's 10 theaters, and usually like the best way they could do this is if they get a ticket to the theater 6 movie and the horror movie's in theater 7. There's a bathroom in the middle of those two theaters. So what they do is they go into 6, and then they come out after like 30 seconds. They all go to the bathroom at the same time, and then they try to like sneak out into the next one. And I'm like, no, don't even.
It's like
I,
if you're gonna do that, wait more than 30 seconds.
yeah, like, come out after like 5 minutes or so or whatever,
Hmm.
you know. And better yet, like, you want to make this work, come in with a reversible jacket or something and have a hoodie. I mean, no, not a hoodie, a beanie in your pocket or something. So you can go into the theater, you can unzip your sweater, reverse it, put the beanie on, and then you can walk back out. There's a risk with that. Someone might see you and be like, I didn't see that person come in. But on the other chance, like, you could at least sneak from the bathroom to the other movie, and I might not be, because I might be looking for the kid in the red jacket, but if it's reversed and say it's green, I'm not looking for that color. Um, but yeah, they'd try to do that, and like I would get, at first I would have to like go down. I'd walk down and like find them and like, hey, I know I need to see your tickets or whatever, and send them back to where they're supposed to be. But at other times, if it wasn't super busy, I would see them like try to go into the bathroom and then they'd start walking out and I see them turn to seven. I'd be like, excuse me, no, no, go back to the movie that you got the ticket for. And they just like, it's the walk of shame back to their proper theater. It's the funniest fucking shit ever.
And of course they're probably just like cursing under their breath, like,
Yeah.
oh, this, you know, thinking that you're like abusing your power or whatever.
Yeah. It's literally my job.
Exactly.
This like the thing people don't understand with movie theaters and trying to sneak into these movies is like, I know you're trying to see a movie that you want to see and you didn't have a guardian to take you or whatever, but you don't seem to realize that movie theaters, at least it could be more now, but when I was working, if say a someone from corporate or whatever the fuck, I forget what it was, came in to check, they could go in. If they found one of these kids, it's the theater gets fined $10,000
What the
per
fuck?
person. And you might think like, oh well, the theater makes a shit ton of money. It's like, yeah, but like that. Say there's like six kids, that's 60 grand. That's fucking destroys, basically all the money we made for that weekend. I mean, it depends on the theater. Like it wasn't a super big theater, but that would that would take a good chunk of money away from us.
Exactly.
And then that means like, you know, they might have to like we might have to be short, the next week because we can't fucking make payroll or some bullshit.
Damn.
And that ain't gonna be fun because then everyone's gonna be stretched thin and everyone's gonna be fucking pissed.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a decent segue into another one I thought of. So also at the restaurant I work at, oh, never mind. Sorry, my phone just went off. So we serve alcohol and like various kinds, like, beer, wine, whatever. So we had for like the summer, we had like it was this weird like do you know what a wine slushy is? Or you can probably imagine it's like a slushy with wine
Yeah, I
mixed in it.
guess.
We had quite a few customers get them, and well, I would end up having to explain to them, but like they didn't immediately know that there was wine in them, even though it's in the fucking name, wine slushy. It's like, what do you think? It just tastes like wine?
People are dumb.
But the dumb customer bit is it was like this family came in and probably let's just say I don't think English was their first language, and they came in. It was like father, mother, and then their little daughter, like 2 or 3 years old. They ordered their food like normal, and of course the mother's like, oh, wine slushy, what's that? wondering what that was. I tried to explain, and then she's like, I'll have that." I ring her up for one. They pay for the food. I give her the slushy, and then they sit down. But then like a minute or two later, I see like they have the thing in front of the daughter who's like about to drink, and I'm like, "Oh fuck!" Because if you guys know anything about liquor licenses, they're expensive, first of all, and it's similar to what you were saying, Heroicus, with like if corporate comes in and sees that that's a hefty fine. With liquor licenses, if they catch something like that happening, or if somebody under the age of 21 consumes alcohol, you know, we could lose the goddamn liquor license, or fines or whatever the fuck else. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but like we bottom line is we'd get in a lot of fucking trouble. So I had to go over there and just explain to them like there's actually wine in that. You can have it, but she can't have it.
All right, so this is two things. They're short. I could only think of three examples. Is people who come in and like they get a ticket, and the ticket will literally say the title of the movie. Sometimes stuff can get cut off. Like any of the Star Wars movies, they would pretty much just write Star Wars, like
Yeah, because
Star
it's
Wars,
like there's only one out at any given time.
and the number and like whatever. There's only so much room. Um, there was people that came in, and I remember this mom came in with her kids, and she just held up the ticket and said, like 3 for Nightmare at the Museum, and I'm like, no, that's Night at the Museum. It's not a horror movie.
Sounds like
Um,
a good spin-off or whatever of it.
that could be like a Halloween special if they ever revive that franchise. But honestly, I wouldn't mind not if they don't, because it's like the first one was, it was good. The second one kind of sucked. The third one, it was also kind of good, but yeah, whatever. Like I have a lot of respect for the last one, or man, maybe not quite the right word, but like I
They only
do.
made two of them though, right?
No, they made three.
Oh, okay.
This was just Night at the Museum, and then Night at the Museum Battle of the Smithsonian, and then Night at the Museum Secret of the Tomb. And wish that happened to be one of Robin Williams' last movies. So it's kind of I can't think of the word, but it's like it's kind of special to watch because that's like one of like the last few movies he acted in.
Right.
Yeah. Um, Another one was people would come to see Maleficent. You ever hear of that one?
Excuse me. Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't really know what it is, but I've heard of it.
I remember some guy come in and like, yeah, I'm here to see Magnificent, and it's like, okay, I can understand that one. Like it's close, but two of them that kind of pissed me off a little because it was ignorance. Some guy came in to see like it had to be the third Hobbit movie, and he
The
was like,
fucking Battle of the Five Armies.
"Yeah, I'm here to see that new Lord of the Rings movie," and I'm like, no, it's not a Lord of the Rings movie. It's the same universe,
Right.
but it's yeah." And then this was you can't make this up. And no, the guy wasn't trolling me, but um, we had the third Hunger Games movie, Mockingjay, because like yeah, there was four of them, but like Mockingjay was split into two parts.
I guess
And
Mockingjay, Breaking Dawn, or something.
no, it's literally Mockingjay Part One and Part Two. So hang on, I need to blow my nose again. Ah, that's better.
Nice.
So I remember this guy come in, handed me his ticket, and he's like, I'm here to see that Hunger Games movie. What's this Mockingjay movie I keep hearing about? And I'm just like, that's the movie you're coming to see, sir. And he was like, what? And I'm like, the title of the movie is The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part One. Oh, I'm like, how are you? You're like he's invested enough that he's watched the first two movies, but how have you like watched trailers and seen the poster and not realized they're the same fucking movie?
I mean, I could see. Well, wait, what are the first two called again?
The first one's just The Hunger Games. The second one was Catching Fire, and then
Right, right.
part the third one is there was only three books, but the third one was Mockingjay Part One and Mockingjay Part Two. But it's like it has the Hunger Games in front of it, and then the other thing is the subtitle, and I'm just like,
Like on the ticket, did it just say Mockingjay or did it say Hunger
I I,
Games?
I think it just said Hunger Games 3 or something like that.
Okay.
But I'm just like,
What's that new Mockingjay movie?
you had to have seen like a trailer or something, and I don't know how you missed that. But whatever.
And you said he wasn't trolling you because that's definitely something a troll would do.
I mean, yeah, but like he had no idea. But I don't know. Maybe he had like a touch of dementia or something, or
Oh shit.
who knows. I mean, he's old. Like sometimes just older people are just like that. They're just a little confused about that stuff.
Hmm. Well, in that
Um,
case, hopefully he's doing all right nowadays.
yeah. And also, this
Excuse me.
was a thing. So you got every Marvel movie, has a post-credit scene for the most
Mhm.
part. There's like, I think Endgame doesn't have one, and then like there's another one that doesn't have one here or there or whatever. But when I started, it was 2013. So the first Marvel movie that I worked through was Thor: The Dark World, and then everything all the way up to. Hang on, let me look. Everything up to Ant-Man. So I was there through all of that.
And Ant-Man was what, 2015?
Yeah, that was like a month or two after Age of Ultron. So I remember, what we would do is we would always watch a movie like the during the credits, like while we're cleaning, and we would try to stay if we could to confirm whether or not there was a post credit scene. Because the people would stay at some random chick flick and be like, there a post credit scene in this?" And I'm like, why would there be?
It's gonna
And
be
like,
some Marvel style teaser for like, oh, here comes the new love interest or the love interest from high school here to fuck everything up in the
you know,
next one.
that would actually unironically be funny. Like if they did that. Uh, you have a whole trilogy of this over the top, chick flick romance crap. That would be something funny to watch.
Any parking lot fights or whatever, it's
Yeah,
like it's shot like in the all like the epic style that the
yeah,
MCU does.
yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, like any of these movies, like if someone would ask and I would say, no, no, there's no scene, they'd be like, all right, let's go. They'd be halfway out the theater before I finish my sentence. But I remember at the end when Age of Ultron came out and we saw like, okay, there's nothing, no post credit scene at all. I actually paid to see it early, even though we were gonna have an employee showing. It was only gonna be like the day that it came out. But movies always like if they open on Friday, there's a pre-show on Thursday.
Right.
So I paid for the double feature of Avengers 1 and Age of Ultron back to back in 3D. It was like $20 for the ticket because it's like two movies plus 3D, so it was actually like 25, but like, that's fine. And I sat through it, I confirmed everything. Okay, there's no post-credit scene at all. So I would tell people, and some people would get up, some people would, okay, and they would just sit there like they don't believe us. Like they think we're just trying to get rid of them so we can clean and get the next group in. It doesn't. It really doesn't matter. It's not like we can't end the movie early and then start it early. It's fixed. It's all automated.
Right.
So I just remember this one time I told this guy like there's no post credit scene. Just ignored me. Sat through the whole credits until the lights came on. As soon as the lights come on, he just there's no fucking post credit scene. Gosh. And I'm just like looking at this guy like, what the fuck is your problem?
It's like, did you not hear me when I said there is no post credit scene?
Yeah, like he probably didn't, but it's like he got so pissed, and I'm like, so what? Like I wouldn't always wait for him because you know, I mean, actually, I wouldn't have to wait for him because usually I would come in and I'd be seeing the first thing I would be seeing is like the last 5 minutes of the movie, um, which I would any Marvel movie or movie I was interested in like, and I didn't want to be spoiled, I would make the effort to I would go in, I would just shut my hearing aids off, and I would just like put my hand up and like look through my fingers and like, okay, I see colors, so the movie's still going. And then I would look again, like, okay, I just see black with like white letters. Okay, we're in the credits, so it's safe now. And sometimes I would end up seeing the post-credit scene with no context, and like, I mean, usually they don't have anything to do with what happened in the movie. It's just like, oh, here we go, we got the post-credit scene. It's teasing, they got Bucky, and then like, for Civil War, and that whole thing. So that's fine. I don't care about that. But like sometimes they'd have like the early post credit scene, and then other times they'd have them like way at the end of the credits. I'm not waiting for that. I will just wait until the movie comes out, put it in my player, and I'll just fast forward over the damn credits until I can see it. All right, so you go ahead with one now because I've been talking a bit.
Um, so I guess I'm just gonna backtrack in the timeline, so to speak. So at my previous job, which was a restaurant at my mall, so you can probably imagine. Well, if you've seen the Work Horror Stories episode, you'll probably know a little bit about it. But anyway, yeah, with my restaurant being at the mall, it's you're gonna get some interesting people come in once in a while. And I just remember one night we were closing Saturday or something like that, and we had this group of three. It was like a couple and this other guy or something like that eating at one of our booths. And it was, I mean, they got here like before closing, so you know, nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But they stayed like 30 minutes after closing, and they were looking at us like we were fucking crazy for, like stacking chairs and mopping and like just trying to do the closing duties. Like
Yeah,
the one
because
the one dude in particular, who he was just like staring daggers at us like, what the fuck's your problem? You're the ones here when we're closing.
yeah, like there's a like I can get into a similar thing with that, but first I want to say like if I had a restaurant, I would have very clear postings where I'd be like, okay, our kitchen is going to close at 8:30 p.m. So after that, we're not making anything new. Like we might still sell like, say we, still have a few things cooked, that's available, but that's it.
Right.
At 9 o'clock, we will be, starting to clean up and close, and like I'd give like a 10-minute like leeway for like people like you need to get out because we
Right.
need to clean, we need to close, people need to go home. But yeah, a leeway off of that is at my grocery store. Whenever we close, we have to collect a bunch of stuff. It goes back in the cooler at night. And I specifically, we close at 9 o'clock. I start getting everything, we start pulling everything about 8:30. We don't go like crazy with it. We go slow, but quick enough. I had this lady walk by while I was, packing some stuff up, and like it's all on racks. They're open.
And
People
this
can still get everything.
this was
Eh,
sorry, where was this? The
This,
theater?
this is the grocery store. I said
Oh, okay. Okay. I missed that part.
so. People can access everything, and we leave everything next to where it's taken off of. So it's not like if I pull it 2 aisles down, you're not going to be like, oh, what's the price of these green beans? And then I have to like walk down and find out. Like it's right there. You could just read the sign. But she starts going off like, "Oh, you're all so rude. People are still shopping." And I'm looking around like you are one out of like three people that's in this half of the store. Who else is shopping? Like the other people were like, happily grabbing stuff off the carts. Like they understood like we're trying to, we're about to close. Look,
Right.
at this point it was like 5 minutes before closing. It's like we don't, and she's trying to say like we're supposed to wait till 9 o'clock and then start. Well, like no, we do it in advance because we need to get out of here.
Mhm.
And she just kept going on and on and on, basically just saying the same thing over and over again. Like you're so rude. You shouldn't be pulling already. We're trying to shop, and we just pretty much ignored her because like we
Like
tried to
she's just bitching for the sake of it.
yeah, we tried to explain like we're about to close, and for some reason she thought we were going to be open for another hour, despite us telling her that's not so. I'm like, whatever. She eventually left and moved on, but it just killed me. Ah,
Yeah, I actually told this story in the server yesterday. I worked briefly at a grocery store for not for very long, right out of high school. And I'm sure this has happened to you many times, but it's yeah, for those of you that don't know, so if you're a produce guy at the grocery store, I mean, obviously you're responsible for the produce section, stocking, pulling stuff that's rotten or, destroyed or whatever, or just not up to par, essentially. Stuff like that. Anything you want to add?
no, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah, you're responsible for the whole produce section. Um, so specifically, like one of the things that we always had to do was like, you know, top off the banana rack, or what would you call that? Shelf?
Uh,
What would you
we
call
we
that?
we, we have a display.
Yeah,
Like
display, yeah. But yeah, that was something we had to constantly like top off or fill or whatever.
yeah,
And it was like,
bananas go quick.
yeah, literally on my first day, and of course, your first day at your first job, you don't know what the fuck you're doing, and you're
First
kind
day
of
at first day at
yeah,
any job is always
exact.
just
Yep,
fucking hell.
it's like it's a lot to take in. You're probably scared or stressed out or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, and it was like within an hour of the day starting, it was like, I had to, roll up some banana, like, excuse me, stock a bunch of bananas, I mean, and then, but they were all green. And it's
Hmm.
like, you're supposed, as you know, you're supposed to arrange them like, so that one side are like really green going to the yellow bananas.
Mm, we don't do it like that. We just
Oh.
we just we just fill it because it's people go will destroy that display so quickly. It's basically in our store is basically just something's low or completely out. Get it, run over, fill it as fast as you can, get the fuck away. Because
Gotcha.
people, yeah, some people will be particular about it and they shift it over, and I'm like, I don't got the fucking time for that. I need to do this. I have like 3 other things I need to do.
Right.
I just literally I take the boxes we get. Um, so you can like pull the top box over the bottom box. So I take that off. I open up the plastic. I flip the box onto the case, pull the box off, pull all the plastic out, then arrange them. Like it's faster. Like you might look like I'm beating the shit out of the bananas, but like it's fine. I'm not slamming it down. Uh, but yeah, I just find it like it's quicker. I can do it and I can get the fuck off, get the fuck away. Let
Hmm.
people, demolish it in the next 5 minutes, so I have to redo it again.
Yeah. It's like at the store I work at, like I said, we were supposed to arrange it so that one side of the display has like all the really, or the green ones
Hmm.
going all the way to the yellow ones. But the badges we had gotten, they were all pretty much green, or pretty much they were all green.
Yeah,
So I was then surrounded by a bunch of annoyed customers, like soccer moms, older dudes, whatever, just like, why don't you get any yellow bananas and what, just fucking ganging up on me, and I'm like,
it's just my first day,
exactly.
and yeah, I that's a
Which
little
thankfully the guy training me that day was able to, just jump in and, you know, essentially
yeah,
shoo them away, calm them
yeah,
down.
yeah. So that's one thing I want to bring up that pisses me off with people is this is particularly with bananas. It could also be with plantains. I mean, those are technically also bananas, but it's a different variant. Um, Avocados as well. Similar things. You know, the
Right.
store 90% of the time is going to receive them as fresh as possible.
Hmm.
So we get the bananas, they come in, they're going to be green. We get avocados, they come in, they're also, well,
Like hard as rocks.
yeah, they're light green, they're tough. They have to sit for a few days before they ripe. And people will come in, they'll see like there's no ripe ones, and it's like I have to explain over and over again. We received this stuff. It is as fresh as possible, so it can last. Even though it flies off the shelf, we need to have it come in as fresh as possible. If we were to order it, I don't even know if you can. I wouldn't be surprised. But if we ordered it to come in, like the bananas are yellow and the avocados are like they're already ripe, they ain't gonna fucking last long. The avocados, we'd have to throw them away by the end of the day, probably. Um, or at least after one day. The bananas, if they came in yellow, the next day they would start having brown spots. That's
Exactly. And
not good.
then,
That ain't good because then we have to throw it out, and that's a loss for us. So just look over it, find the one that's if it's applicable, find the ripest ones, take those home, and you'll have it. Better yet, if they have both, get yourself one that's fresh and get a ripe one as well. You can have the ripe one right away, and then in a couple days, when you want some more, those ones will have been ripened. And just
right,
try to go like that if you can. But
like
sometimes,
the people that get annoyed are probably, yeah, that's because they want to be able to like go home and have them right away, right?
yeah, and that's what kills me is yeah, like we're segueing so many different things here that I didn't even write down. But
Uh-huh.
for example, so someone will come up, they want a ripe avocado. We don't have any. I'm like, this is all we got. They're all fresh. So, we just got this in. And they're like, oh, well, I wanted one today. But I go, well, we have over here, like I point, right? It's 2 steps away. It's little packages of just, they've opened the avocado, they've scooped out all the stuff and made guacamole out of it. Or sometimes it's just purely what's in the avocado. Nah, that's okay. I don't want that. That's literally what you want. They've done the work for you. I hate that so much. It's like, I mean, here I can understand if the avocado is 99 cents, versus this package is like $4, I can understand like you don't want that because it's like way more pricier, and it's just because they've done the work. They need to get paid for that work. That's why you'll notice like sorry,
Yikes.
I'm 1 second. I need water. Oh, all right, I'm back. Whew. Um,
Sounds like you need cough drops.
no, I'm good. It just happens every so often. Uh so we have some cut fruits, and like it's the exact same stuff that we get. Like, we'll take a pineapple, the same pineapple that we put on the display is the same one that's the cut version. They just take some, off of the delivery and chop them up and whatever. And people will not want that, but it's because it's more expensive. But it's because someone went to the effort of they chopped off the top, they cut it in half. They might have cleaned away a couple of imperfections in it. Maybe there was I don't know, maybe there was like a gross looking spot and they just scooped it out. Yeah, that's what you're paying for. You like, I think sometimes they overcharge a little bit too much because it's like literally like anybody that does it in the back will be like chop, chop, done. Then all has to be done is like it needs to be run through a wrapper machine. Like the whole process will take like not even a minute, and like it's way more expensive than just getting it yourself. But like people will be really picky about that, and it kills me. Uh, oh, so one more from the theater. For context, this was my first week. I had quickly learned, the basic of ticket tearing, directing people, and sweeping popcorn and whatever. And I went into some movie. I can't remember. I just remember it was theater 8, I believe. It was a small theater. I walked in, the movie's about to end. I'm just barely peeking over the railing, and I waited. Everybody got up, started walking out as the credits rolled, and I'm about to start. And I look up, and there's like two people sitting up in the back. They're just teenagers, and they're like heavily making out, and I'm just like, uh, I don't know what to do in this situation. I wasn't prepared for it. So
That
my
actually
first.
reminds me of when after you tell this story, that reminds me of one I want to tell.
All right. So my first thing was I just started cleaning, and as I got closer to them, I was like banging my broom like a little, loudly into the chairs on purpose to like try to. I literally got, I can shit you not, I got like 2 rows away before they actually noticed me, and they finally got up and like ran out. Um, it was just embarrassing for me because it was taking them forever to notice, and they got embarrassed because they didn't realize I was there. Um, but later on, I discovered eventually, and I had a little thing made. It was a tool. We have lights in the theaters that are like, you know, what do you call them? Fluorescent lights. And there's light switches, but like they're behind something, so you have to use a tool to, you know, flip the switch, just so nobody can just like, walk through the hall, flick it on, and piss everybody off during the movie. And
Okay.
they're sometimes they're like hidden behind like some felt on the wall, just so
Right.
like nobody will know. So this was much later, but same situation. I see these kids like making out and whatever, and I'm like, I'm not doing this again. And I'm
Wait,
like, wait a
same
minute.
people?
No, it was somebody else.
Oh.
But pretty much same. same size theater and whatever. I'm like, I'm not going through this again. This is annoying. And I'm like, I have my tool to turn the lights on with me. So I walked back down, turned the lights on. As I was walking back up, like, they're like the girl's putting her jacket back on, and because like they were ready to fuck right there. They, she's getting her backpack, and they're rushing down the stairs, and like they had to come past me to walk out. And as they did, I just put on the biggest smile and said, "I hope you enjoyed your movie." And I was like one of those cartoon characters. I was waiting for them to walk out, like my head was about to explode, steam coming out. As soon as the door shut, I just started laughing my ass off. I was so proud of myself. Oh, that was a good time.
That could not have
Oh,
been executed any better.
oh, but yeah, that was. And then yeah, I went and told some of the other workers, and they were like, "Fuck yeah!" That was the funniest shit.
Nice.
All right, you go ahead.
But yeah, so I already told this in the server if you're in the server, but if not, you'll be hearing it for the first time.
Join the server.
So yes, join the server. It's a good time. But so this actually happened uh a week or two ago, something like that. Yeah, so it was about an hour before closing, and like I was outside wiping some tables, and so it was these two, well, technically they weren't our customers, so but just I'm just gonna say dumb customers because they're out front of our restaurant and they were the customer at the place next door. So I'm just gonna tell it anyway. But anyway, and I couldn't tell what they were doing at first. Like it looked like I couldn't tell if they were fighting or like if the guy was getting a little too touchy with this girl and she was like, trying to push him away or whatever. And then I go over to my manager, like I didn't want to take chances, and I just go to like, you know, hey, go out and I was like, hey, go out and look at that car in the parking lot. Do you think they're, I don't know if they're fighting or if what's happening. And, she goes out and takes a look. And we have this regular customer that comes in like several times a week, to get a beer or whatever. And eventually he goes out and looks. One of the cooks go out and look. And it got to the point where, like by the time we're all looking at them, it's like they're just like making out, similar to the story you told. They're making out, eating ice cream, and literally, literally, my manager, the customer, who's this like scrawny dude, and then eventually me, like we're all just like standing there, just staring at this couple. Like we have the door open, propped open. We're just literally just staring at them, just to fuck with them.
They
And it's
eventually
like
just Did they eventually just look over and be like, "What the fuck," and drive off?
pretty much like they didn't notice right away, but like when they did, they just got the hint and just drove elsewhere.
If only you could have done it. Um, I would have just stood there, just like rubbing my nipples or something, and just to really give them the fear factor of being like, "We're never coming back." But yeah, I'm pretty sure that would be frowned upon.
I mean,
It's in the employee handbook, like, don't rub your nipples and scare the customers.
it's only frowned upon if I don't get caught, or if I get caught. I
Oh,
mean,
daring today, aren't we?
yeah,
Mm.
it's I don't know if this detail matters, but like they were easily, well, either high school or college aged, probably high school, seeing as how they had the they had the gall to do that in a parking lot and
Like,
out front of a restaurant
like,
where people
please,
could see them.
please, you want to do that shit? Go home.
It's like at least go somewhere where it's pretty secluded.
Yeah.
Even if you don't go home, like go to like an empty parking lot or something like that.
Yeah, like, if I'm that desperate to fuck in a car, like I would be like, let's go in the garage. That's better. You can have the experience and nobody's watching you or anything.
Hmm.
No, you won't get caught or whatever.
And if there's
Uh,
cameras, probably if it's in a parking garage, probably nobody's going to look at the cameras unless
no,
there's a
no,
crime that happens.
no, I mean like your personal garage.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to fuck in a car so badly, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so this might be a bit of a long one, but I don't mind because I got a bunch more. I have. I get annoyed really easy with people.
What?
What?
So
Fuck
you get
off.
annoyed?
Shut the fuck up. I get annoyed easily with people that will ask for something. Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have that. And they just like demand, like, I check the back, because, like, how do you not have that? I'm like, you don't have it. Our truck hasn't arrived yet. It ran out. This is
Right.
especially annoying with like we'll have like oh say today we have a special it's 99 cents for iceberg lettuce. It's going to sell out. Like people see that every fucking boomer in the state shows up at the store to buy, some 99-cent iceberg lettuce. And it'll sell out. And then people will be like asking for it. Like we put something else there. They'll see it. I'm like, do you have any more? It's like, don't you think if I had more, it would be sitting in the display? Yeah, it's just in the back. I'm just hiding it. Like, fuck off.
It's like, yeah, we have
Like,
a magic iceberg lettuce fucking tree or whatever.
yeah. People seem to think that, like, there's a magical tree in the back that, I can just pluck whatever you want off of it. I forgot that we had that. Thank you for reminding me. I'll go get whatever you want. It was a similar thing at the hospital where some nurse would call like, "Oh, hey, we ran out of blankets. Can you bring us like 5 or 10 more blankets?" And I would say, "Oh, well, we're out of blankets for today. And, we only receive like 300 a day, and normally we get 600, so that 300 had to be stretched to everybody."
And they won't take no for an answer, right?
They literally don't. I've literally said that, and the nurse will. This is an actual quote. Well, we need them. So whenever you can bring them up. And I'm just like, ma'am, we don't have any more. We're not going to get any until tomorrow morning. Well, I need them today. I I can't do that. I'd like to help you, but we're not going to have any more today.
Exactly.
What's your manager's number? I'm like, oh, fuck off. So they would end up calling my boss, and then my boss would just tell them, we don't have them. We're not getting them till tomorrow. Sorry. It's like, mm, just fuck off and accept my answer. Uh, let's see what else we
Those
got
type of
here.
people are the worst. Oh yeah,
Uh,
I can I throw one in real fast?
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so also at my restaurant, so well, as I'm sure you know, so like people come in and order in person, or people can like place an order online, or like either directly through our website or through DoorDash or whatever else, or you could just like call in an order. So this lady called in an order, and what we're supposed to do is like they tell us what we, or yeah, they tell us what they want, and then at the end, we read it back to them to make sure it's right. Tell them the total, blah blah blah. Tell them when it's going to be ready. They get here, they pay for it, they walk out with it. this lady, so she comes in to pay for it. I hand her the bag, and so the way our thing works is like, when they go to pay for it, it's like, there's an option to like add a tip, and
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, what our boss did was, he set it up so that like 15% is automatically highlighted, and sometimes people don't catch that. Like
Uh-huh.
if they're not paying attention or they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So what this lady did was like, it's like I read the total and then I flip the screen over, and then she's like, "Well, wait, I thought you said it was this," and then I explained to her, "Oh yeah, that's the tip." Of course, I'm trying to be like, well, trying not to upset her or anything. I'm like, did you like, did you want to do that? Do you want me to take that off? And she's like, yes, take that off. And then, it takes me a minute to do that. Like I have to literally go back into the fucking transaction and manually remove it. And then she demands a receipt. So it's first of all, and of course she's like a Karen, of course. And it's like, but it's like already, it's like you have the fucking gall to basically demand a tip be taken off. It's like, have you no shame,
Yeah. It's like it's one thing if she wanted to change it to a different percentage,
Exactly.
but like, yeah, like you need to understand, like, and I don't like how they do this at restaurants. Is like people get paid jack shit, and then you basically have to rely on your tips. Like personally, if I open a restaurant, I would do what I could to let's pay people at the very least to start minimum wage, and then if this person like they're really good, they'll get a raise. Obviously, you know competitive pay, I guess, is what it is, and
Right.
have tips on top of that. Like you're gonna be that would be really beneficial for some people. Is like because you're gonna be making money, plus you're gonna be making like a lot of tips on the side. You know, you might get one table you might get $1, another might 5. Some people will come in and they might tip a lot. If they're fucking rich.
Or just feeling generous or whatever.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, I would try to like take care of people.
But yeah,
That's
it's
one
like,
thing why I would never want to work at a restaurant is like number one, it's not something good for me because of my hearing problem. It's already hard enough at the grocery store, literally anywhere.
right.
But it's just you're getting paid such a little bit, and so it's basically like you have to constantly maintain, a good atmosphere, a good attitude, in the hopes that somebody will tip you reasonably well. Like no,
But yeah, that's the case for like traditional, like sit down restaurants. Not all of them are like that, but yeah, it's like for those, it's like, yeah, those are like bullshit.
yeah,
But yeah, anyway, so then this lady, so she makes me do that, and then she's like looking in she's looking in the bag, and then she's trying to insinuate that I messed up her order. It's like I'm thinking, are you fucking kidding me?
yeah. That's where I
And
would
it's
have
like,
like let's unpack everything and let check, and I would be like, well, everything's here, and we verified this with you, so get the fuck out.
and it's like the receipt was stapled. Like we always staple the receipts on the bags, like to obviously like this is what was on the order. Therefore, everything that's on there should be in the bag.
Yeah,
And it's like sometimes we write, on the boxes, we write what it is, like if it's this sandwich or this whatever else,
yeah,
usually we do that.
yeah. Um, Let me fire off a couple of quick ones here because I don't want to go through the whole stories, but people who you help them with like something and then they have to tell you their entire life story leading up to that moment. It's like you're a nice old lady and you're sweet, but I really don't need to know all of this shit. Because there's one lady that will do that, and I will actively avoid her if I see her because like I I think I think she's it's a mental thing or maybe she's just really lonely, but she
Yeah,
will stop
I think
with
old
every
people generally are.
yeah. She will stop like neck with every person and she'll like talk to them for like 10 minutes. She'll take like 5 steps and she'll make eye contact with someone else and like she'll talk to them for 10 minutes, telling them the same fucking shit again. And I kid you not, one time, like I was putting out it was some Roma tomatoes. I was doing the tomato case and she came over and she's asking about something about papayas and she goes on this whole thing. It's like, when I was a little girl, my daddy planted a peach tree in our backyard, and they were the best peaches you ever had. And it's just like, what does this have to do with the papaya that you're asking about? And I kid you not, it was like 20 minutes of just listening to her. And she would like walk away a little bit, and then she would come back and continue. And I'm like, lady, I'm trying to work. Go away, please. And then she finally went off and she like started talking to some other lady. And like I passed by and I'm hearing her like she's telling her the same fucking thing she just went through with me. I'm like, my God, it literally it will take her sometimes 2 hours to get through the store. She's not even buying a lot. It's just she has to stop and talk to everybody.
And
It's like,
the sad thing with old people, I think, is, you know, like you said, they're lonely. Like maybe they have grandkids that never talk to, like they never call or whatever,
mm,
or they just, I don't know,
yeah,
maybe they're a widow. I don't know,
yeah,
or they're just maybe they're well, obviously their mental capabilities are on the decline. Like maybe
yeah,
beginning of dementia.
yeah. It could be, or like I said, it could simply just be they're really lonely and they're just trying to talk to somebody and feel some friendship, I guess, some closeness or something.
Yeah, which is
That's
sad.
yeah, it's fine and all, but like I don't need your entire life story multiple times. Um, so pretty much any produce section will have an organic section, and I got nothing really against organic stuff. I know it's more expensive because like there's no pesticides or whatever, so they have to take like extra care of it or whatever. I don't know the process, but I just know it's more work, so it ends up costing more. What I do hate, however, is pretty much anything in that section is in bags or it's wrapped in plastic somehow, whether it comes like that or we do it. Like asparagus, I have to take it out of the box. I have to put it on a scale, weigh it, wrap it in plastic, and put a sticker on it. So it says like it's so much per pound and it'll say the exact price so people can they don't have to weigh it, they can just grab it and all right, this thing of asparagus is 5.45. Yes, it can be that expensive. um what I do hate, however, is people who will take the plastic off and then take like there's always like a little thing that will say like, okay, this is organic, and there's this barcode. They'll take that off too, just so they can get it at the price of regular asparagus or whatever the item may be. Go fuck yourself. You are literally stealing.
Wow.
It's pathetic. And on a similar thing, there are people who um best example I have is this asshole who comes in to get, bell peppers occasionally. He is so fucking cheap. He will take the bell pepper that he wants, and using his fingers, he will rip off like the top of it, like the stem, pull that out, pull all the seeds out, and then he throws that back into the display, and then buys like this pepper that's been ripped apart, just so
So
he
when he
can
goes to
say,
weigh it, it comes
yeah,
up as less.
Yeah, it comes up as less. And I'm just
Oh
like,
fuck.
number one, that's not allowed, but like no one stops them. Like, because we're just not, we're getting paid minimum wage. We're not gonna fucking mess with people over
Right.
shit like that. No
You
one up
don't get
front
paid
is,
enough to do that.
yeah, no one up front is gonna do anything either. They're just gonna, they probably don't even pay attention. They probably just scan it and like, okay, this is a pepper, blah blah blah. That comes up to whatever. But it's like you're so fucking cheap, and also it's throwing it back in the display is like you really don't care about us because then I have to go. I have to pick that up and throw that away. It's like fuck off.
That
It's a similar thing we when we have corn. Ever since COVID, we put up a sign that says you can't shuck the corn because you just some people will shuck it and then they're like I don't want this one. They put it back. Well, you've touched it. There's a
right. So
chance
you
you
have
could.
to buy it now.
Yeah. Well, no, they'll just walk off. Um, but like we would have to get rid of that once it's been like that. Normally, people can chuck it, and we would have a trash can right there just for that stuff. Even though people will put whatever trash they want in it, doesn't really matter.
Hmm.
But people just don't give a shit, and it pisses me off. Like, there's a reason we have this sign up, and no one cares, so they just keep doing it. And I've tried, excuse me, I've tried sometimes like telling people, and they don't scream or anything, but like they give you the look like, yeah, fuck you, pal, I'll do what I want. It's like, mm, piss off.
Yeah, that reminds me, again, so, well, speaking of, people leaving messes and not caring, just, it always seems like maybe you go to restaurants and see this. Um, it's always the families, like, it's always the ones with, like, little kids, babies, little kids, toddlers, what have you, that leave the biggest fucking messes at their tables,
Oh yeah,
when they're done eating. Like it's like they don't it's like they make the biggest mess possible and they don't even try to clean up. Like they
yeah.
leave the high chair there, which is all like full of crumbs and whatever else, like grease.
I've not personally heard it, but I know people have done it. Um, but I'm just waiting for the day where, because I've read it where some kid makes a mess in a store by accident, and they try to like clean it up, which like that's great.
Mhm.
That you at least try. We'll step in and we'll take over, but like we appreciate the help.
Mhm.
But like sometimes these moms or whatever will be like, "Oh, honey, don't worry about it. They're paid to do it." Like if I hear that, I'm gonna fucking snap. Like I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna go in the back, and I'm just gonna fucking punch a box or something. Like
Which I
fuck.
swear is the mindset of some of these people. Like, the it.
Yeah,
Good,
they think we're like slaves or something, and like,
and it's
sorry, I like money.
yeah, it's like I could understand it, like if they leave a mess, but maybe they leave like a couple bucks on the table, like like Han
Yeah,
Solo, like sorry for the mess.
yeah.
But
I
it's
did. I didn't mind too much at the theater. Like at first, I was like, people are fucking messy. Like especially little kids. Like they drop like 90% of their popcorn. I kid you not.
mhm.
But what made up for it is the amount of loose change and money that people drop in movie theaters. It's insane.
Wow.
Like
Oh, because
like
it
I,
all like falls out of their pockets.
yeah, it's almost like this. You almost think the chairs are designed that way, but I doubt it. Because the theater's not getting it. I'm getting it. But yeah, like I'm once I cleared like $50 in one night, like collectively, because like
Wow.
there's a dollar here, there's a you know $10 here, some change here, and
What?
like
Wait, $10? Like a $10 bill?
that's not even the biggest I ever got.
Wait, what was the biggest?
Probably I think I found like $60 in 20s one night.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Do people not
Uh,
have wallets or something?
I guess. Well, you think they come in, they pay for their stuff, and then they have change, or they might have just been somewhere else and just stuffed it in their pocket and didn't think about it.
Hmm.
And then they reach in their pockets, during the movie, like for their phone, or they're like, oh, is my wallet still there? My key's still there, or something, and then pull it
Right.
out. All that fucking money falls out, and then it's mine. We did have one rule there. It's like 10 anything, like it wasn't like collectively in the theater, but like if you found like a $10 bill or more, you had to bring that to the office, and they would hold it for like 3 days or so. If nobody came for it, which like 98% of the time no one ever did, they would just give it back to you. So that was nice. Um, Honestly, I think there was like one or two times someone came back. One time it was like I found a good chunk of money, and the person came back for it, and I was like, yeah, fair enough.
Right.
But then there was like one time where, like, I kid you not, some kid dropped like 50 cents. I found it, put it in my pocket. The family came back to find that 50 cents. And I'm just
over,
like,
over
oh,
50
yeah,
cents.
yeah, I found it. Here you go. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? You walked out to the car, like, literally, just hand the kid $1, and, there you go. But, sometimes kids are particular and like, no, I want that specific 50 cents I had. Well, I probably didn't.
Oh,
I probably didn't even give that back. I probably just had a handful of change in my pocket and just gave him whatever I had. Like, here's 50 cents. There you go.
are you thinking like Asperger's or whatever, or OCD, or do you think it's
No,
just
no, no. I'm talking like kids. Kids will be like
right?
that sometimes. Like, they're just very particular. Like,
Okay.
it's kind of like a thing where what was it? I was reading somewhere like kids cry over like the dumbest shit,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh, I read some mom her kid was crying because they were not allowed to bathe the cat with mayonnaise while using a toothbrush.
What? Wait. Say that again.
The kid wanted to give the cat a bath using a toothbrush and mayonnaise
Why?
because they did. And mom was like, no, you can't do that. That's not good for the kitty. And like the kid just got upset. You know, mm, they didn't understand. They just wanted to do that for some reason. And being told no, they got upset because they
Right.
didn't know what to do with it. And like that happens. Like a kid will see like, ooh, that thing's bright and red and shiny, and I want it. And mom's like, no, that's a spicy pepper. You don't want that. You'll fucking probably bleed out your eyes or something. And kid doesn't understand that. The kid just wants that thing, and they want it now, which is a stupid mindset, but whatever.
I mean, it's like yeah, in their minds, it's like it's the biggest deal in the world, and when they're
Yeah,
denied it, it's like their worldview just comes crashing down for a bit.
yeah. Fucking kids, man. um.
I
All
can't,
right.
yeah, I can't imagine being just. This isn't a story, but I'm just saying, I bet being an employee at a toy store fucking sucks.
Oh no.
You get to like you
Oh,
have to listen to like temper tantrums all day.
oh man. That's what you should do. How I keep saying it, like we need to get an apartment together. So we do that, and then we wait for Toys R Us to come back to the U.S., and then we'll get jobs there temporarily. Just and then we can make an episode out of it. Like
Toys R
our
Us horror stories.
yes. So yeah, Toys R Us, come back. Let's sponsor us. Let's make it
Yes.
happen. Uh,
Please.
yeah. All right. So unless you got another one, I'm just gonna keep going.
Uh I right now I got nothing other than just I guess
All right.
again with just people not wanting to clean up after themselves and which by the way, if the kid is old enough, they'll like, it's if especially if they're old enough to, I guess, model their parents' behavior. It's the parents are setting a bad example for the kids.
Yeah,
Like make a big mess and don't even push the chairs in. Like they just get up and just walk out, leave
yeah.
the high chair that crumbs and shit all over the floor, and then I have to stop everything I'm doing and clean it up.
Well, I mean, stuff on the floor, like I don't expect anyone to clean that. It's like, what are you gonna do? Ask for the broom? Excuse me.
I
It's
mean,
like, yeah,
at a restaurant, it's like, yeah, well, I mean, if it's really bad, I mean, because if a customer is going to come in and look at that, they're going to be like, well, why is that spot so dirty?
yeah. I mean, I understand it, but like, yeah, they because that's one thing that happened to me at the theater sometimes is people would make a mess and they would offer to clean it up, but it's like we actually weren't allowed to let them, have the cleaning equipment. That was like staff only. So it
Right.
was like I would be like, I appreciate you wanting to help very much, but I cannot give this to you. And in some cases, they would be already cleaning, and I would just have to like I just have to let them because I wasn't gonna have them get pissy at me. But yeah,
Yeah. Anyway,
um,
if you had any more, you can go ahead and share.
yeah, okay. So this one, this happened at the movie theater. I only remembered it as I wrote this down, but um, my perspective is standing at the podium where I would tear tickets, and there's doors. So if you're outside, there's like it had to be maybe let's say 12 doors, and like they all like push in or whatever. I forget, or you pull them open. I don't know. But the two doors all the way to the left were always locked. They were intended to be exit doors. Now, the theater did make a stupid move by not putting up a sign that said exit, but honestly, at night, you probably wouldn't see it anyway. Um, but people would go up to those doors because, like, if they're parking on the left side of the parking lot, those are the closest doors. So they go to open them and they're locked. So they're just like, they're just casually pull it first. And then they'd really fucking yank on the door. And I'd see these people sometimes they just do it and like, oh, like, let's go to the next one. And other people would be like trying to basically rip it off its hinges, and it's like it's fucking locked. And
It's like
I'd have to like wave to them and like go to the next one. Idiot.
it's like you're gonna try to rip that door off its hinges rather than try another door.
Yeah, it's stupid. So this has been this isn't my job or anything, but when I go to get like McDonald's on my lunch break, I get curbside, I sit in a spot, I'm eating. And every so often they lock the lobby, which I'm assuming is they're understaffed probably right now. So
Yeah, so
whenever,
it's like they don't have as much like dining room
yeah, well,
capabilities, I guess.
yeah, I think the dining room is basically closed anyways. Like they open it and then they'll close it again, and it just keeps going back and forth. But I think it's just they don't have enough staff, so they don't have anyone available to sit at the counter every every so often, to take orders. So they just lock the lobby, which I wish they would put up a sign that would say lobby is locked. They don't. So people will walk up and it's the same thing. They forcibly try to rip it open. Then they walk to the next door to try to open that one and it's locked. And then they just get more and more pissed. And like, yeah, some people are calm about it and they'll just all right, I'll just go through the drive-through or curbside, whatever. Other people will be like, they put their hands up to the window, like right over their, eyebrows and whatever, and they're looking in like, hello, open the door. And like, nobody's fucking coming. They probably can't even see you. They're too busy like making shit and running around like chickens with their heads cut off. But it's just so funny to watch because there'll be like so many people that do it, and I'm just sitting there like, half eating, half laughing my ass off at how many people try it. And like the best part is when somebody does it and other people are walking up and they're looking straight at them and they're like, maybe it'll open for me. Like it's an Excalibur kind of situation here. You know, I'm or Mjolnir. That's like I'm worthy to open the McDonald's. It's so dumb, but it's so funny. Let's see what else. Okay, so this was fairly recent. This lady was asking the price of bagged lemons. I mean, bagged limes. And she's like, "There's no sign." And I walked over and I'm looking. I was like, "It's right here. It's just to the left a little bit." Well, it should be directly over it. You're like, lady, fuck off. Like shit gets moved around. Don't waste my fucking time. It's like what I want to say. It's like I just literally I just moved the sign back over and like it's $2.99 and
I guarantee. Sorry, go ahead and finish.
she's still just like kind of pissy about it and I'm like stuff gets moved around like if something runs out we gotta like move shit around and cover up that empty spot. Not everybody moves all the stuff around and it's ridiculous. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I guarantee there will be a lot less dumb customers if they, spend enough time working in any of those types of environments.
Oh yeah.
Like people that are like bad tippers at restaurants or just whatever, or at the grocery store, just
All
yeah,
right.
they'd be a lot less shitty if they actually understood it, like what goes into it, what they have to deal with.
Mm-hmm. um this one was just plain rude. This was very short after I started, maybe the first month or so. This older guy came up to me. I was putting out some plantains. I love how I can in some of these situations. I can remember exactly what I was putting out at the time. Um, so I'm putting those out, and he's just like, started like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm doing good. How are you?" He's like, "I'm all right. Nice weather we're having. Whatever." And just making conversation. And he was just like, if you don't mind me asking, like, how old are you? And I'm like, "Oh, this was a bit ago, so at the time I was 25." I'm like, "Oh." He's like, "Oh, so you go to college or something?" And I'm like, not, no, I don't go to college." "So what? You just gonna work here for the rest of your fucking life?" And he just walked off, and I'm like, "What the fuck is your problem?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's none of your fucking business."
It's like, what does it matter to you? You know?
Yeah, it's like people like that. That was the only time that happened, and I'm just like, "Fuck off." There's no reason for that attitude. It's like you're not my fucking parent or whatever. There's no need for it. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So someone will come up. This is usually just older people, but sometimes younger people do it too. They ask like, "Oh, I'm looking for this item," and I'll point like where it is. It's within viewing range. They can't see it. Maybe they're bad vision or whatever. And I said, "Here, let me take you to it." "No, no, I'll find it." Then what did you fucking ask for? If you're just gonna go look for it yourself. Like I'm offering to take you directly to it. Just accept my help.
Or don't ask for it.
Yeah. As it just drives me up the wall. Um so let me see. I only got two more. So this was both of these are very recent. This first one was last week. Um so I put out what we call at least oddball items where it's like tofu and packs of guacamole or salsa or whatever, little We have Bolt House drinks, which is like, you know, it can be
Don't want to try those.
blueberry fruit drink, or it might be a mocha or a chocolate drink or whatever. There's a whole bunch of them. So I do all of that. And whenever I do it, a lot of it, I have a grocery cart with me, and I put all of the cardboard that I'm breaking down into that to keep it contained. And I had it like pretty full. This guy came over. He had some bananas in his hand and something else, and he's like, "Excuse me, can I have this grocery cart? I need to do some shopping." And I like, I don't have a cart, and I got a bunch more stuff to get. And I'm like, "It's full of cardboard. I'm using it." And he just like shook his head and walked off. And I'm like, "What? Go up front where there's empty grocery carts. This is full. Like, yes, um,
Take
let me
all the
just,
cardboard out.
yeah, let me just take all the cardboard out, give this to you, then I'll go up front and have to get my own fucking grocery cart. Like, fuck off. That's more work for me. It's simpler for you to just go get a fucking empty one yourself." You fucking idiot. I need water. My voice is dying.
Nice.
It's not nice, you dipshit.
I prefer to shit in my dip.
Whatever. Uh, and again, last week, this is the last one I got for now. There could be a sequel to this in like another year. I'm sure I'll have more.
I'm sure I'll remember more by then, or have some, or get some new stories before then.
Oh, yeah. So this lady came up and she was asking the banana prices.
Oh
And
boy.
I just pointed at the sign. It's 49 cents a pound. So how much would 5 bananas cost? And I'm like, do I look like a fucking scale to you? Like in my head. I'm just I don't know that off the top of my head. You would have to take this and go over to a scale and weigh it. Well, how much would 4 bananas weigh? And I'm
Oh
like,
my god.
again, you would have to go over to a scale with it. So she took 2 bunches. She went over, weighed them, came back. So this one was 1 pound. So how much would that cost? I'm like, it's 49 cents a pound. So that would cost 49 cents. And I'm like, how? And she was like older, but like, she wasn't, nothing seemed off about her. She didn't seem like she had any mental issues or anything. She seemed perfectly functional. She just wanted to, like, she was expecting me to know this stuff. And I'm just baffled at, like, how have you made it this far in life when you're expecting grocery store employees to know how much something is by the amount when it goes by per pound?
Right, it's
Like,
like you're supposed to know that, like it's like you're some encyclopedia
yeah.
or like human
And
calculator.
so, yeah, then she accepted my answer and then says, like, okay, so this one weighed, um, like a pound and a half. So how much would that be? And I'm like, lady, fucking hell. So I'm pulling out my calculator and I'm just trying to do the math and figure this out for her just to shut her up.
Yeah.
And like I figured it out and like, oh, that'll be like, so I forget how much it was gonna be. It was gonna be like $1 something. And finally, she just walked off, and I'm like, what the fuck? That was the weirdest question I've ever had. Like, well, the weirdest question that actually made sense to some point, because people will ask, like really dumb shit.
Mhm.
I got one in my head, and I just can't like it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't get it quite right. But I had someone ask me some really dumb question, and it wasn't like someone comes up with a package of chicken and asks me like, "Oh, do you have any more of these?" And I'm like, "You have to ask the meat department guy over there. I'm in produce." Like that's they not everybody knows the difference between, like, I have a green jacket for produce. Grocery people wear like navy blue. Checkout wears like a burgundy, and then pretty much meat, deli, and bakery. They all have like white, you know. Uh, it's like a jacket slash apron together. I don't know how to describe it really. It's a smock as best as I can say.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no one ever seems to get that stuff. I guarantee you, even if I had a hat that said produce on it, people would still ask me like, "Oh, how much is this steak?" And I'll be like, "I don't know. I don't work in meat."
Oh yeah, I remember I would get people like, again with the produce thing, I would get people like asking me if I knew where stuff was that wasn't produce, and I'm like, especially like during my first week, it's like I don't fucking know, and I'm not well, not I'm not supposed to know, but like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not really my job
yeah,
to.
like yeah, people will come up and they'll be like, where can I find birthday candles? And it's like, um,
It's like that's the
I,
stock
I,
boy's
I,
job.
aisle 7, I think, should be around there. It's the best I can offer people sometimes. I'm honestly, I keep forgetting to do it, but what I want to do is I already have in my notes folder on my phone, a work category where, one thing tells me like the passwords for like, we have electronic price guns and printers, and I
Hmm.
use that to like, mark some stuff down, manager special, even though I'm not a manager. That's just what it comes out saying.
Hmm.
I'm authorized by the manager to do it, so same difference. Um, so I have like passwords for that because I'll forget it sometimes, or just like how to do certain you know procedures or whatever. I want to go through every aisle on like a day off and like, okay, aisle 1, this is dairy, so you'll find eggs, milk, yogurt, here, and then aisle 2, like, okay, we got hot dogs, bacon, salad dressing, and so on. Just so if somebody asks me something, I'll be like, just give me a sec. I'll pull up my thing and I can probably go, okay, you're looking for toothbrushes. Well, that should probably be in the same aisle that's got, bandages and medicine and whatever. So, if it's not written down, I could probably match it up to what aisle it should be in.
Hmm.
So I gotta do that at some point. Try to help. Because I get frustrated when I can't definitively go, oh yeah, that's aisle 7 or whatever. I and people get annoyed when I don't have that answer for them. Like I'm not one of the managers. Like the store director, you can ask him where anything is, he knows where it is because he's been there for 25 years. He started working there when I was a fucking baby. So yeah, he knows where every fucking item in the store is.
Yeah, if he's been there that long, he
Yeah.
better.
He's not been at that location, but they all pretty much look the same. So, anyways, yeah, this is gonna be a long one, but yeah, that's gonna be it for now. Uh, and maybe in a year we'll have dumb customer stories too.
Maybe we'll
And
have a guest or something.
definitely we need more people for it. We were supposed to have a guest tonight, but they forgot, so we killed them.
And buried the body. We buried the body in 3 different backyards.
Oh, yeah. Also, yeah, there'll probably be a work horror stories too at some point, but like that's gonna be a while. We
Yeah,
have to think.
we
We
need
need we
more
need guest
material.
more material and probably a different guest for that. Um, but yeah, join the Discord. The link's in the description. It's in the description of every video. Um, it's a small server. with the time at least of uploading this, but it'll get there. It's a
It's a
great
nice
place to
little
hang out.
hangout spot. Yeah.
Yeah, you can come in. You can, even though you can do it in the comments, you could suggest like topics. We might do. We have a bunch of ideas lined up, but can never have enough. And yeah, that'll be it. We will see you guys next time.
Yeah. Thanks for watching/listening.